Hey, what's up? This is Anubis here. Utility vests, tactical vests, fishing vests, whatever you want to call them, recently have seen some popularity within streetwear and to an extent techwear or more utilitarian fashion as well. I think it's one of those things where a few celebrities or high profile types have worn them and then that started trickling down into the mainstream a little bit. But I feel like a lot of people are unsure about what to do with these exactly and whether they should bother picking one up. I've seen quite a few cool fits with these. I feel like they're a bit more versatile than people think they are. There's quite a few different ways that you can incorporate these into outfits. And another great thing about the utility vest is that you can pick them up pretty cheap. Although you've got a few high fashion brands putting out some slightly exclusive or unusual looking ones, you can get things that look pretty similar to that super cheap. So this one here is from Champion. This was £15 from Amazon, and there's a whole bunch of different ones on Amazon and other kind of military sites as well. It's not a huge investment, so it's a pretty cool thing to pick up and have a bit of an experiment with. I won't talk about this one too much, but it's from Champion. It fits a little bit big. I went for a size M where I would normally take a large, and to be honest, I probably could have gone smaller. It's a very square shape with quite wide shoulders, but all the pockets are asymmetrical, which I think makes it look pretty good. It's also made from poly cotton, so it doesn't really have any performance aspect or anything like that, but that makes it nice and soft and wearable, and I think helps with its versatility. Alright, so without further ado, let's take a look at a few different ways of styling these. First up, I feel like you can go super plain, super minimal. I feel like a vest works with something incredibly plain like this because it brings a very slight unusual twist to something which ordinarily wouldn't really make you stand out at all, but it's not so showboaty, so peacocky that it's going to make everyone stare at you. It just brings something a little bit more interesting. It's quite restrained, and I think it gives off a bit of an effortless look, which I always think is quite good. The other good thing about wearing an outfit like this is that you can do it for pretty much any budget. This one here is a kind of mid-range sort of thing, so I've got an APC t-shirt, Levi's jeans, and COS shoes, but you could go for something higher end. You could wear all Acne Studio stuff for some common projects, for example, or all of this stuff would be pretty easily available at cheaper, fast fashion, high street retailers as well. If you wanted to go for this kind of look, but something a bit more summer ready, then you could opt for a different coloured vest as opposed to a black one. I've seen some cool fits with like some sandy, stone coloured ones, and they look pretty good, I think. Another cool thing you can do with a vest like this is use it to break up something that's very bright. Here I've got an orange long sleeve tee from Maharishi, and by itself, because it is just a single colour, it's very like eye-catching, but if you've got a bit of black in the middle there to break things up, I think that really helps. The strong contrast between the black and the orange really brings out the best of both of them, I think, and you can dress everything else down and make it fairly simple so that that colouring really is the focus of the outfit, and you're not really doing anything else that's too military or tactical. It's also a good way to do things like show off graphics on arms, so this one's got quite a cool little arm design which I think is worth showing off, and that's something that a zip-up hoodie can't really do. Also, it's going to give you more functionality in terms of storage capacity compared to an average hoodie. I mentioned there about not looking too tactical, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You could embrace that tactical or more military inspired look instead. For example, you could take that military palette or some combat boots and use those to create something which really strongly evokes that military style. I've also gone for an Orbit backpack which has quite a strong military look as well. Really, it's up to you how far you want to push that military look. This could definitely work with a camo tee or camo pants, for example. Probably not both, but one of the two. You could opt for a more olive heavy colour palette as opposed to the desert style that I've gone here, and of course you could switch this utility vest out for something which evokes that tactical or military look far more than this one does. A nice heavy duty overshirt in one of those colours I also think could be a pretty cool option to go for. So within that military space, I think there's loads of different things you can experiment with and try out. An alternative take on this would be a more urban explorer style. It's a chance to break out a bit of the techwear gear, but instead of wearing a jacket, to use a utility vest as well. Of course, you're going to lose a lot of that water resistance and performance, so perhaps not the best kind of thing for wet weather, but in a more springtime or a drier scenario, I think this thing could work pretty well, and it certainly has, to me at least, a very different aesthetic to the straight up military looks from before. Here, the brighter colours, the use of acronym or ACG, that arm lens, the backpack, although a different backpack could possibly have worked a little bit better. All of those things combined give you definitely a look of ruggedness, of preparedness, but without the same aesthetic or the same associations as the more military style. But at the same time, it feels a bit different to a traditional tech ninja outfit because you've lost that heavy duty jacket and you've replaced it with something much lighter. So in that respect, it's very much a hybrid. I think it could be a good way of evoking some of that tech ninja style without having to go out wearing a big jacket all the time, because as we move towards spring and summer, then you're probably not going to need it as much. Another thing I thought was using the utility vest to inject some kind of the techwear look, or those pockets and the detailing that you would typically find on a techwear outfit. So the things that I've got here are from Riot Division and ACG, but this could pretty much work with anything. I can see just a plain black hoodie or a plain jacket with the vest on top could still evoke that techwear look without really having to go for a specific techwear piece. And that, I think, opens you up a lot more to some different options. The downside of this, though, of course, is that this vest specifically has no real performance whatsoever. So if you're wearing a water-resistant jacket and then this over the top, then the vest is just going to get soaked immediately. I also feel like this kind of style looks better if the vest and whatever's underneath it is open. So again, better for drier fits rather than mid-winter techwear stuff. And it's true that if your objective is improving performance in an outfit, bar the extra carrying capacity, you're not really going to achieve that with a vest. But I think it's quite a good way of experimenting with the techwear look without needing to make the investment into a dedicated, very pocket-heavy jacket. So those were some of my ideas of incorporating utility vest based on things that I already own, and I think even here there's quite a few different looks that you can go for, but we can certainly take this idea way further. I mentioned colour a little bit, but you can certainly do way more with that. I pretty much stuck to black trousers in the video, but you could certainly mix that up and try out loads of different things in that department. And pattern as well, rather than having a very bright colour on the top half, you could go for a very bold pattern instead, and then that military vest would still do the same work of breaking that up. And the colour of the vest as well, I can see that having some interesting potential. For example, you could go for a black long sleeve t-shirt and then have a lighter coloured vest over the top. That could be quite interesting, and it's something that I've not really seen that many people do. And although I said that the vest that I picked up specifically was fairly versatile, depending on which sorts of looks you want to focus on or which direction you want to go, that could inform the specific vest that you pick up. So I'll try and put links to a few different ones in the description and maybe pop a few up over that side as well. If you want to focus on those very minimal outfits, then it goes without saying that a lighter weight vest would certainly do the trick there, but also consider taking something which is a little bit smaller in size, so it's almost worn like a waistcoat. But then if the military or more tactical look is more your thing, then not only should you be looking at the more heavy duty utility vests, but also not having something which is too small, so there's a little bit of bulk to it. Let me know what you guys think of incorporating the utility vest or the tactical vest into outfits. Is this something that you're messing about with already, or maybe you've not really felt like giving this a go before? And of course, let me know which of the outfits, or which of the styles rather, you feel is your favourite. And that has been everything, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. Make sure you go outside, get some vitamin D, and I'll see you in the next one. Shout out to Deco Code and Ben Dosage. I know I say pants instead of trousers. I feel ashamed of myself as a Brit, but it's just that anyone that isn't British gets very confused when I say trousers, so I had to switch it up. If we're going by UK terminology though, a techwear pants video from me is not something you want to see. And shout out to Minimal Drobe, that is a good idea. What I would like to do at some point is do a little series of videos that explore these different kind of sub-styles and sub-genres of techwear, so that is something that will be coming up in the future for sure. And shout out to everyone, in fact, who either watches or is subscribed to this channel. There are now 15,000 of us, which is pretty crazy to think about. I'm glad, in fact, that there are so many people that are enthusiastic about techwear, and as I do, want to learn more about this stuff, so there's definitely going to be a whole bunch more techwear related videos coming out in the future. You know the drill, there's going to be some videos going up there, and if you've not subscribed already, then definitely think about doing that. There's going to be a little button over there, and then you can check out all that new techwear stuff when it comes out soon.